It's Ron being in the middle with another IGSTS production. And what we're going to talk about today is about this teacher teaching a classroom of multicultural kids that his race, which is the Caucasian race, is superior. Tell me what y'all think about it. Don't forget to comment in the comments.
You're in a motherfucking grill pit.
Everybody, try to sit close together and try to, if you don't, I've been recording, always record.
What we're going to talk about today, y'all, is I seen this video. I'm just scrolling through YouTube the other day, and I seen this video where this teacher, a Caucasian guy, that he was teaching his students, and he was being recorded secretly, and he didn't know it. One of the students was behind him with his camera phone, but he told his students that he think his race is superior. And one of his students challenged him on that, and he said, so you saying you racist? He said his answer to that was, I think everybody is racist, but they just don't admit it. And then the student went on to say that I don't think I can trust you anymore. And then the teacher went on to tell the student, I think you should trust me more because I'm being honest. So we're gonna watch this video clip real quick, and I want y'all to tell me how y'all feel about it and relate it to your life, and tell me how racism has played a part in your life up until this point in America. We're gonna start with that.
Right now. How did it make you feel when he said that? What do you?
Just really just tired, you know. Tired of hearing about stuff like that. Tired of hearing about people having a mindset where the first thing they think about or judge somebody is a skin color and I don't know, just I don't know. It doesn't make sense for me. It makes sense for you. So.
What do you think, bro? How did it make you feel when you brought it up?
Pretty much the same. It's just you just tired of hearing the same old, you know. It's like it's gotta be an end to it some kind of way. Something gotta change.
For me, it just goes to show that racism is still alive and well. And you telling the students that, to me, he's being honest. So he letting all of them know that he is racist. And I'm being honest with you guys, I am racist. And the student felt some type of way about that. That made me feel like it's depressing and it's sad that people continue to stress these negative views, you know what I'm saying, type people. And it's causing more chaos and confusion and dividing of the cultures and people, you know what I'm saying. That's not a good example to set for especially young ones that's coming up to school right now. I think it was very, very unprofessional and very, you know what I'm saying, just selfish of him to even express that type of view like that.
All right.
I feel like you say nothing but what the next person feels. We all feel some type of way. I applaud him for his opinion, his straightforward, his truthfulness, honestly, because at least you know what you're dealing with up front than behind your back. I feel like no man is greater than the next, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. So that's his opinion. That's his judgment on himself or the way he views things. But I don't look at black and white, you know. I judge a man for a man, clean cut, you know. So you can never change nobody else's opinion of self. All you can do is move with how you feel, how you've been raised. So you know, it don't really too much. It don't bother. It don't ruffle my feathers.
I'm gonna put it all in the blender. You know, what you all saying, gonna go a little higher with it, you know. I look at things like this right here. What has got him to the point where he's comfortable enough to even say this in some type of conversation or commute with his higher superior authority that he's working for and around? And it's like he said, and I'm strongly agree with him as well. I'm glad he's like one of those people that show you who he is. You know how to take this person. It's just like when we was when I was doing time a long time ago. We liked the officers that was bitches or more of an asshole because we know what to expect out of them. We didn't like the ones that was all friendly with us and this, that, and the third, and then next thing you know, they turned around and hit you with, I'm just doing my job type shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like my man here says, like, where does it end? How long are we gonna continue to give life to something like this? You know, it's just so many things that could be said and piled on top of each other in reference to this. But the main thing is you cannot let this affect your upbringing, your who you are deep inside, the way you go about displaying yourself to the world and to people and to circumstances and wherever you may be at. Just take it for what it is. How they say, don't hate the message. Don't hate the messenger, or the message, however that shit go. Don't hate the messenger, hate the message, or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
So hate me, I'm just
take it for what it is. I mean, a lot of emotions is involved with people in nowadays in life. People are so easily to be offended by anything and everything. It's a free country to say what they want to say. If he wanted to take the suffer consequences from behind that after that, that's his decision. But at the same time, I'm thankful enough that there are people like him, as my man would say, that would just show you who you all seen. That's just like, I totally disagree with them tearing down the Confederate statues and shit all around the United States. Reason being, all this time, I never knew, people like me probably never knew, that these Confederate statues represented so much ignorance or hate or whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, now that we know what they represent, and they're still there, hey, look, we won't forget. Now, say 20, 30 years from now, we're not here, people are here after us. Those statues aren't there. But the root of everything is still there and everything's to the side. That's like a warning. It's like an eye-opener to things. That's just like, even with us, how we'll judge people, how we'll sit down and we'll talk to people. We'll sit down and we'll get our own judgment on people. That's racist. You know what I'm saying? Because if I do something you don't like or do something that you don't totally, that's just a racist, that's something you have against that particular way I talk, walk, speak, behavior, look at you, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or I pick my nose, fart, you know what I'm saying? Burp, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I speak with my mouth open, you know what I mean? That's something you can't do. Even the same way on girls with dates, right? So yeah, be thankful for people giving you the big picture for such a small.
If you down south, it's like that anyway.
Right.
You don't fuck down south, you know.
Right.
We always, it's a strong majority of them that they don't hide the way they is. And, you know, that's respected. You know what you get. You know what you get. You know, but you still get the respect as a man that you're supposed to get. But you're gonna respect other people for voicing their point of view. Because if you're not, you become a dictator. I'd rather know that you a certain type of way than that you hide behind a smile. Right. You know. Right. You smiling in my face. You know, the whole time you're terrified, you think I'm gonna kill you or maul you or something like a wild animal. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how you feel for sure. So I know not to even be put myself in a situation to be. Or you even putting yourself out there and to even be misjudged. Absolutely. You never know what kind of thoughts a person got in their mind. You know what I'm saying? But if you let me know that you really don't like me being around you, I'm not gonna be around you. Right. That's go ahead and set your boundary. That's called setting boundaries. Set your boundary.
That's why I love people when they expose their hands. Right. So they teach me how to move around.
Right. You pay a small price to see the big picture.
All right, guys. The other thing that I wanted to say, I'm gonna turn this off.
Prior to seeing the video, after I just explained it, I briefly explained to y'all what this video is going to be about. But I like what y'all all said, because everything that every one of y'all said is going to be said in this video right here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And some. Nice. But my personal opinion is, I didn't have a problem with what the dude said if he wasn't saying it to juveniles. If he was saying that to a room of adults, it's no big deal.
Go ahead, just.
You know.
I'm ethnocentric, which means I think my race is the superior one.
That was now a former educator in Austin, Texas, who has been fired after admitting to his students that he believes that the white race is the superior race. And as you can see from the video, that classroom has non-white students within it, and this is again an educator who is creating a hostile environment for his students. One of the students luckily did catch it on camera, and here's some more footage from the exchange.
Deep down in my heart, I'm ethnocentric, which means I think my race is the superior one.
Like, what the?
No,
White is better than all.
no, let me finish. I think everybody thinks that, they're just not honest about it.
I'm not racist though. I like all types of colors.
Did I say I don't like people?
If only this
Wait, so you said you are what? You are
you
racist?
saying you're like
I think everybody's racist at that level.
no, but she said you are racist.
I did. I'm trying to be honest. No, I'm not saying this again. I'm saying it now.
So you're racist.
Where's your phone up?
Yeah, for real. I don't think I got respect for him no more, man.
No, you should have more respect.
Go ahead. You
I
on?
don't want to get those kids around the problem because at that age, there's no way in me hell I would have sat there in that classroom without talking.
You see the kid that he was talking to?
Now I would have sit back and been like, huh, what the fuck?
You see the kid that said that he didn't have no respect for him? Wait till you see later on in the video what he had to say with his dad. Like he had a conversation with his dad about this.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? Wait till you see that. Just watch the whole video real quick, and then we're gonna get back to it.
But you know, they've been pumping for the last couple of years now. They've been trying to push this critical race thinking into the schools for these kids.
Yeah.
So you opening the door for stuff like that. So it's like, how can you get mad when it finally, when it hits the forefront? You can't get mad. You can't fire this man. And you've been pushing, trying to, they've been snatching, people been snatching their kids out of school because of the race, the critical race thinking.
Right.
Theories in the classes that they've been trying to pump to these kids.
So you don't know what he might have been seeing from his level. Like, yeah, I know that.
Wait till the news lady tell you later on.
He said, I think everybody feels this way about their race.
That's a fact.
And that's a true fact.
Let's
What I'm saying is,
you make yourself superior.
what I'm saying is,
What race are you? What race are you? I can't tell you how many nationalities I have.
we tend to feel like,
I can't tell you how far my bloodline goes back.
He didn't say the man didn't say that. He didn't say he was a racist. He said that I'm an ethno. And what he means by that is when you study, when you educate yourself, this is the way you look at things. Everything is looked at through a Eurocentric perspective.
Right.
That his race is superior based on the finding of this continent, which we know they didn't find, but the lens is always viewed from them finding this country, not people already being here. So in that being said, that is racism, that's colonialism, that's imperialism, for him to have that perspective. But what I'm just getting at, what I heard is throughout when we were in high school, we were being taught that, right? Nobody questioned whether Christopher Columbus discovered the United States of America. We just took it in as facts, and we got graded on it, and we were told to regurgitate that. That's ethnocentric studies. That's all he's saying. What a lot of us already been through, going through education. That's how education was given to us. So what he's saying is he's not a racist. He's just saying what we've all been told through school, and we've never objected to it. We accepted it to be facts. Now I'll tell you right now, Christopher Columbus discovered the United States of America. You say you a goddamn fool. That shit didn't happen. Because we know what is. And that's all that's going on. So I just don't want to lose track. He's not saying anything other than what we've been told many of times. He's just saying it out in the open and being recorded saying it.
I just don't like, I'm just like personally over the crush. It's like any little thing, you can only fall victim to this shit if you allow it and you feed off it and you let it deter your life of who you are and where you're trying to go. this shit been going on for 400, 500 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
So when is it gonna be like, oh, that shit ain't bothering us?
No.
This is
What they think they doing is hindering them. It ain't stopping us from living our life. So once you get that through your head, it's like, what the fuck?
This is why I want y'all to continue to watch the video, because I want y'all to really see what the kid that was going through the exchange with him and said he didn't trust him, he don't think he could trust him no more. Wait till you see the exchange he had with his dad. Because the kid was really raised in a proper perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And he shows a great viewpoint and sheds some light on the whole situation.
But here's the catch-22. What's the proper perspective?
You'll see.
Well, let's air it.
Let's
Air it, and
watch
then just go.
and
Then we can close on that.
all right.
Move on to the next.
He like can't see past his own biases and thinks everyone else is as racist as he is. And the thing that really like it both broke my heart, but it also was a little bit heartwarming. Like the student who says, I don't think like that. I like all kinds of people, right? It's just like the sweetness and the purity of kids and how a lot of hateful, habits are learned behavior. And unfortunately we have people like that, now former teacher, spewing this kind of hatred. But let me give you some more background into what happened. So the father of one of the young black students that you see in that video is actually a famous rapper and record producer that goes by the name Southside, and he shared the video on Instagram, which is how it went viral, okay? Now, in his caption, he wrote this: "My son called me the other day and said, 'Dad, I have a C, I'm trying to get my grade up, but my teacher is a racist.' I thought he was trying to say that because of his grade, so today he sends me these videos. This man told my child his race is superior. My son wants an education, and he is being denied that." So his son, Mello, the boy going back and forth most with the teacher in the video, spoke out on Instagram as well, and he says, "I have always been raised to respect my elders. My parents don't play about that at all. This still won't change me. I'm still going to be the same. It's just crazy this happened at my school to me and my friends. I'm glad my parents stayed on me and taught me how to move in situations like this." Now, the teacher hasn't been identified, but was originally put on administrative leave. But since then, he has been fired. And on Friday, the Pflugerville School District Superintendent, Dr. Douglas Killian, released a statement saying that Human Resources was conducting the investigation, and today he provided the update saying that this educator has been fired.
Is he speaking about what making him superior at this race is because who discovered it and what we've been taught in school and all that. But what they're talking about is the kids are talking about him making it seem as if he's being displaying hatred toward other races, but making it seem like he's being racist and saying that his racist is his most superior, not based on the Columbus facts or history that we've been talked about. That's not even brought up in the situation. What they're talking about is him displaying hate that he had.
He had no hate.
Whatever you want to call it.
He had no hate.
Okay, he's not. What if he does not love?
He didn't have no hate.
The guy is saying his race is way superior, right?
No, listen. There's a certain thing that's ethno studies and it's Afrocentric studies.
I understand.
No, let me explain, because that's where you're losing it at. When a guy comes out and says that I believe in ethno studies, I believe that my race is superior based on ethno studies, Eurocentric studies.
Okay.
All he's saying is that what you were taught in high school. Now, if you went to high school and they had Afrocentric studies, it was talked about African people being at the center of the universe, right? That's where it deviates right there.
Okay.
Now it becomes. Now he's talking about racism. Right. He is talking about racism, but he's talking about the racism we all been taught in high school, grammar school.
He did this,
and then they turned it into something else totally different.
They brought out the truth behind the rock, man. That's all they did, man. And they're talking about him being a racist person. If that's the case, if that's the case, then they can't.
I'm asking a question.
I'm asking they fired this man for nothing.
One thing that we can't
Hold
don't have any background information on how this guy treats his students. You know, we just have him.
In his one instance, he just made a mistake.
Hold on, because it doesn't mean. I mean, the way he said it didn't sound like, hey, hate other races. He just believes that his race is superior. And that doesn't mean he has any hate for anybody. He just says, I think I'm superior. That doesn't have to change the way
I get what you're saying. I'm putting
it's just how I view the world.
Right.
And I think I'm superior and yada yada. But at the same time,
I'm putting a title.
It sounds like he was.
I'm just putting a title.
This whole situation,
You know what I'm saying? I'm calling
even
it
broader than that because
That's
now
all I'm doing.
they just fired him for what he
Just like
said.
when you minister,
Right.
when you go to
Now they're
church,
affecting our
and then
freedom of
preach,
speech.
what they say, what they call it.
Say again?
That's like the idea, please.
You
You know, I don't have
speak
to
that
agree with
fire,
it.
flame, you know what I'm
You
saying?
don't have to agree
You
with
put a
what
title
I'm
to
saying.
it.
He just got
In
fired
my
for
eyes,
having
that's
an
hate.
Yeah.
And having an
That's what I
opinion.
call
That's
it.
not right.
It's hate. That's how I see it. It's hate.
I personally think we all the same.
It's what
I
you
think
hate.
the only thing that differentiates me from you is culture. But as far as being a human being, we're the same.
To a point, I think culture separates, and I think a lot of people get imprisoned by their own culture. And for me, I come from a very mixed family, you know.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything in my bloodline that we don't have.
Exactly.
Literally, you know what I mean? So for me, my culture is so mixed, I just feel like,
Right.
man, I'm just a human being.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and so for me, in my attempt to be the best man I can be philosophically, you know, there's something called the Superman, you know what I mean? And so since I've been trying to change my way of living and everything, that's the philosophical road I've been on. And I just feel like if I want to be superior, I want to be a superior man. It has nothing to do with race. It just has to do with how I conduct myself,
Right.
how I interact with the world and this reality, how I interact with other people. And I don't have to shame anybody. I just, for me, I don't agree with a lot of things that people do and a lot of things people say. But I let them have that opportunity in that room, and I hope in my heart that for them one day they challenge themselves, challenge the way they think, challenge how they view the world and how they view themselves. And hopefully they can raise themselves up, and be a superior person, you know what I mean, to help the rest of the world, because I think we're all here living together on a goddamn rock in the middle of space, man.
Well spoken.
Well spoken up.
I was gonna say this. After watching it again, my opinion changed a little bit, because at first when it was told to me before I viewed it that this guy made this racist and racial. Hearing it now and seeing it again, he was just voicing his opinion.
Exactly.
That's how he felt. That was an I statement.
Freedom of speech.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't saying that he disliked other races. He wasn't saying he's a race. He said, this is how I feel my race is superior. And he has the entitlement to do that. You know what I'm saying? So then here and again, I don't feel like he said nothing wrong, but in today's society, what's going on from the George Floyd and everything, all the Black Lives Matter movement is not acceptable right now. You know what I'm saying? So that makes the big uproar and the big outcry, and it makes everything go viral all of a sudden. But he was entitled to his own opinion. That's how that man feels. That's how he feels. He never said he was a racist. He never said he didn't like other races. He just said he feels.
Oh, he said he was a racist. He said he believed
Even if he
everybody
did,
thinks
it's
like
still
that.
his freedom of
He
speech.
said everybody thinks like that, but they're just afraid to admit
It
it.
doesn't
didn't-
matter
he
if
didn't
he is a
see
racist or
what
not.
led up to
You know,
this.
it
Because
doesn't
the
matter.
way-
Right. The
The
video was.
way he came across was, it sounded like more like he was actually trying to make a teaching moment. And that's the world, you know what I mean? But we don't know, we didn't get the pieces like what was going on before that.
We done headed to a situation now in our lives where we can get fired for just our opinion.
Right.
We can get kicked out of our jobs. We can lose our status in the community just over an opinion that we have.
Right.
You know, our freedom of speech is in jeopardy more than anything. With that video, it shows that our freedom of speech is definitely in jeopardy. This man just lost his job. How is they gonna be able to stand on this?
It's called a Patriot Act.
You know what I'm saying? How can they stand on this and actually, take this man's livelihood from him just because of his personal opinion? We have personal opinions. So our personal opinion is gonna get us, rolled out.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you like they said the other day. I'm gonna tell you like they said the other day. I heard Charlamagne the God say this. He said, you do have the freedom of speech. However, it's consequences to some of the things you say. Look at Kanye West right now. He was just a billionaire. But he running his mouth and
That's
lost
a
his
part of that.
contract
That's a
with
culture.
two major companies that made him a billionaire.
That's a part of
now
the
he's not a
cancel
billionaire.
culture. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you got the freedom to say whatever the hell you want to say. But just know that there's consequences to some of the things that you might
And
say.
you can go from a billionaire overnight.
Huh?
It's impossible.
Well,
This is why we always in
his
uproar.
contract with those two companies.
Listen to me. This is why we always in uproar, because this idiot box. These people get up on this platform and run their fucking mouth, and then lo and behold, we don't know how the fuck they live. We don't know how they really feel. So you got to learn how to utilize your own 360 before you take their word, because that's their job. Their job is to stir up bullshit on a daily. So you can't take their word. That man Kanye, everything he said was gonna happen, has happened. You know what he said? He said, give a couple months, they're gonna be my friends again. You can't make that man not be a billionaire because of what they saying. This shit don't work like that.
I mean, when we
No,
look
but
at,
go ahead.
when we look at the world, and this is how I see things going down in the world, because, you know, I used to be an anarchist, and in a way I really still am. You know, I view the world that we are more connected, we have more access to educate ourselves, and although I don't believe the majority of people are doing that, there's a good percentage of people doing that. You know, educating themselves on you know, what's actually going on out there, you know, looking in and watching these leaders of the world, you know, these people that are ruling over us in society and whatnot, and that's dangerous to the ruling, you know, those in power and whatnot, because the more we get communication going amongst each other, the more we come together.
Education is the key.
Then we have the potential to unite and step up to the ruling class. So what they want to do is use the idiot box, like you were saying, you know, and they want to push walls and divisions in between groups, religions, sex, in anything they can put a divide into. You know, even teams, you know, football teams, basketball teams. People get beat up over after a game over that stuff. When it's just a game. It's nice to watch, but it's just a game. You know?
I just feel like what that exposed is you can't be mad that that man expressed his feelings or expressed his thoughts, because all he's showing you is what goes on in that particular circle households.
90% of the uproar come from that place right there.
But from
And
an
I agree
emotional
with
standpoint,
what y'all said earlier, because we don't know what happened right before that kid turned his camera on. Because, like you said, it could have been a teaching moment. Something sparked that conversation. Something happened right before that kid turned his camera on. And then that kid said, oh, let me turn my camera on. You understand what I'm saying? So we don't know what happened before that. We don't know what sparked that conversation, what made him say that. But like I said, the only problem I have with it is that you telling a group of juveniles that you think your race is superior. Tell a group of adults with that, I don't have a problem with it. But you telling people that brain is not fully developed, that are trying to grow and be somebody in life, that you think your race is superior, and they're another race. So that like puts them down.
The critical race theory that they try to pump into the kids is cool though.
Let me say this.
You
think that for to teach the critical race theory things that they try to pump into the schools and to the kids is cool? It's the same difference.
No. It's not.
First, before you get into a conversation with him, you need him to explain what a critical race theory is. And I can, if he can, I can.
Go ahead.
All right. The critical race theory is them breaking down everything based on race. Usually, it's all the papers I read was based on from an Afrocentric perspective, right? They would look at it from a standpoint of black males or black individuals. I don't even like using the term black because it's a color. But in the critical race theory, they've always looked at it through a lens that looked at black people being disenfranchised. That's the conversation, right? And So with that being said, it automatically brings this onus into a classroom to make people feel a certain type of way. But it's how things are. But again, it's just like him saying a Eurocentric perspective. It's an Afrocentric perspective on things, and a lot of people don't want to hear that because they've been given another viewpoint.
Let me give y'all a hypothetical situation.
I just want to say this for you, start.
Go ahead.
The thing about it is, we focused on what he said, but right after he said it, he said we all are the same way. Every race are the same way.
Yeah, and that's true. That's a true. That's true. That's true.
That's a fact.
That's true.
But at the end of the day, we all are one.
Exactly. I felt like that at one point in my life, but I've grown. And I don't feel like that no more.
But nobody can really.
So that's where he's wrong.
Nobody can really. Can't nobody really say that because we was just in a joint. And if you was in a joint, you know the white boys fuck with the white boys, the natives fuck with the natives, blacks fuck with black. It was just like that.
Hold on.
Period.
Hold
on. Y'all didn't go to the same spot I was at.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you what COVID did. Turn the camera on me. Check this out. I'm gonna tell you what COVID did. I'm fucking with everybody.
No, that you did. But if you sat at a table, and I was in Stillwater when they had all the tables segregated, black sat with black, GD sat with GDs. We did that to ourselves.
COVID though. I was in prison during COVID, and COVID has did one good thing, and I'm telling you all
that shit up.
Where I was at in the federal prison, you got 4 wings in the dorm. You got 2 wings on this side, 2 wings on this side, and it's a gate in between, and an officer station in between these 2 gates. Well, there's one officer that patrolled that dorm, and he walks through that side, he walks through that side. But when COVID hit, they closed both of these gates and left the officer right here and left the inmates on the 2 wings over there on this side, on this side. Well, on both of them sides of the dorm, there's a black TV room over there and there's a white TV room over here. And then there's a little TV room inside one of these TV rooms that has a Hispanic TV room. Well, when COVID hit, they locked off the sides, so now the white people that live on that side can't come over here to the white TV room. And they can't go in the black TV room over there. And the black people over here that live on this side where the white TV room is can't go in the white TV room because the white TV room on this side. So I seen this. A white guy came to the gate right here. A black guy came to the gate right here. And they said, hey, you give my people 5 seats or 10 seats over there, and I give your people 5 or 10 seats over here. And then before COVID, you had a white poker table, you had a black poker table. When COVID hit, you seen all these races of people playing poker together. On this side of the dorm, you seen all these races of people playing poker together on that side of the dorm. And then you seen something else. You seen all these races of people eating together, cooking together, and getting to know each other, and loving on each other, and stuff like that. So that's one thing I've seen COVID do in prison. COVID broke that down. COVID broke all of that down.
I have never seen it, so I came here. I'm from Chicago, so like.
What part of Chicago, bro?
I'm from out west.
How far west?
Jackson, Wyoming.
Okay.
So that shit don't go like that in the jails in Illinois. Like nobody give no fuck what color you is. As long as you was a stand-up individual, that's all that matters. That's all that counts. You keep get the fuck on with that bullshit. So a lot of things are
where were you locked up? Where were you locked up at? Stateville. You know they closed Stateville down. You know they just closed it down.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Stateville, Shawnee, Centralia, Vandalia. So you know, like all this bullshit as far as the race, it's all embedded. None of us woke up and said, "Oh, well, I don't like this color. I don't like that color." What the fuck we all grown in? So like back home, none of this shit goes on. Now,
I just want to catch speed. I don't want to cut you off, but I got to get ready to go.
Okay.
I just wanted to throw this out there before I left. What is superior? What are we basing things on to make who's superior? That's the one I'm at.
I look at the Bible when I say what is
superior.
The Bible
what makes one individual race superior over another? What is the level of highness that we must reach or that must be accomplished in order to say, hey, look, this race is superior, or my nationality is superior, or I'm just superior. What makes a person superior? What are we putting on the pedestal to really say this is the higher level of reaching to be superior? So now you got to ask yourself,
the Bible says the human race is superior. And he's human, I'm human, he's human, he's human, he's human.
Ain't nobody greater than the next. You might hear stories like
stupid.
This is just me. Maybe I don't care, but this is how I feel. they say like, and I'm not a racist, but they talk about white people, they smarter, they this, they that. Man, y'all got the same 24 hours. We all got the same 24 hours in a day. I don't give a fuck if you're white, purple, green, black, or blue.
Right.
Nobody has no more advantage than the next man. The Lord wake us up in the morning, there you fucking have it. You make your 24 hours out the day.
That was best you talk right there.
Let's if you gotta leave.
I gotta leave now.
Yeah, you gotta leave. Let's transition to the next.
You in the grill.
Remember, you are loved more than you know. You are braver than you can imagine. You are more beautiful beyond what you can see. You have a lot of work left to do today, so let's get to it.
Not every kid is safe walking these streets. Not every kid is safe at home. But we can pretty much guarantee that these kids are safe here. Northside is our home, but we have issues in this community.
I'm a police officer for North Minneapolis and coach for North High School.
Kind of weird, but I'm building bonds with police.
I love coaching North, but it's definitely a difficult time right now.
The presence of police creates irreparable harm.
This council is going to dismantle this police department.
We've got to be ready to fight. Before you judge anything about me, get to know me.
The tension in North Minneapolis with police and the community is intense.
You okay?
For these kids, the violence is non-stop. You can hear the gunshots. When the lights flicker at 7 o'clock, you ain't hearing none of that.
So I don't know. Anybody see any problems with that, or they feel like that's the demo? I mean, how do you feel when you see that? Anybody? Because
they taking the youth and they giving them a better outlet than probably what they got. Nobody give no fuck about nobody being the police. The police just is a label. You still a man at the end of the day. Your heart is your heart. You gonna have fucked up people no matter shade, height, color, sex, or whatever. People look too much into shit. Instead of seeing the good, they want to pull out the negative. They want to make the narrative negative. Like, what's wrong with the police having young youths in the hood? That shit might make them somewhere. It might take them somewhere. But I tell you what it's doing. It's taking their ass off the street. So you know, I mean, what's the harm in that? Police or whoever the fuck it is.
I like what the officer said when he said, before you judge me, get to know me. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because I know this officer in St. Paul, Mr. Brown. Every time I see him, I dap him up like I would dap you up and give him a hug in the back. I don't think all police are bad. I think that they have a bad narrative, like they protect each other and stuff like that. Like when you seen with the 100 and whatever shots it was over there in Ohio.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? When they all went in there and fed the fifth and stuff like that. It's a blue wall, so to speak, like you say, a blue wall. But I think there are some good officers there, but they're bad when they put that uniform on, like you said.
Before I get to speaking, then I want to see if anybody else has anything to say, because I know this is going a lot of people. It's going to always do. I got something to say.
Well, I look at it as, you know what I'm saying, like the Officer Locke, I personally know him, because I sold drugs on Plymouth Avenue over 12 years, and he worked that beat. He's been over there about 18 years. He'll come through sometime and just be like, look, man, what y'all doing out here, I don't condone it, but I appreciate it, you know what I'm saying, if y'all, you know what I'm saying, stop doing it, you know what I'm saying. Then you got the other ones that come through who be more aggressive, who'll plant guns on you, and you got some who beat you up and take your dope, you know what I'm saying, but him, personally, you know what I'm saying, I know him personally, I had a good relationship with him, you know what I'm saying. I won't say he's giving us heads up, but he's giving us insight about, okay, well y'all need to wrap this up, because, you know what I'm saying, they coming,
XYZ. You know what I'm saying? So that's giving me, I feel that like a little heads up, letting us know to move around. And like what they doing with them kids, man, I think everything's been happening in Minneapolis over these past couple of years, man. It's been sad and really depressing, man. And like you said, some officers are good and some are bad. And when it comes down to the fight, they have to go with the blue side versus the people. And I know it probably harms some officers too, but they African Americans, they black, but they gotta do what their job, and they follow and address everything their job and what their people are doing. I don't condone it, what they're doing. I don't accept it, but it's just what it is right now.
That's where my view is like, all cops are bad. I don't give a fuck if you're a good person or not. You wear a badge, you wear the blue, you put that uniform on, I don't want to know you.
Because you're going to be bad.
I don't want to get to know you.
Because you're going to be bad if you're a fellow officer.
You're an officer, bro.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing anything to change what's going on in the officer station and how police are operating in the city, then you're part of the fucking problem.
You're not being
I don't want to know you.
You're not being surgical.
You're bad. I don't care. I don't want to get to know you. You're bad.
It's a good
But how can
I know y'all seen Serpico.
Hold up, but how can the ones who want to do good, who are trying to do good, when their superiors calling them,
Hey,
well, hold up, and draw this line, and this is what we at, this is what we're gonna do, they gotta go with that.
Well, sometimes you gotta make sacrifices for the greater cause if that's what you believe in.
Right.
You know, if you want to remain comfortable, then go ahead and remain comfortable. But don't come talking to me telling me you're a good cop.
Right.
You know, I don't believe in that shit. You know.
All right, so the reason I played this is because there's several individuals in this area who's been doing excellent work when it comes to activist advocacy in North Minneapolis. Who do we go get? The motherfucking police officers. And we want to.
Hey, we tone it down to cussing. Hope we're gonna beat them up.
I got something to say, so I'm gonna say what the fuck I feel. You understand me? You dig? But I've been trying to tone down my cussing. So with that being said, they go get some police officers, and they want to show that as the connection between North Minneapolis and some type of transformative vehicle because of the city's in shambles. I don't believe it's true. I believe it's a narrative that they want to push because the police has always been the problem, day one. There's no way they cannot be the problem because historically, from where they came from, they came from slave trade, right? They were the slave patrol, and they still have that behavior. It's like taking a pit and trying to make a pit a chihuahua. You can't do that, right? You be fooled. Like, so that's what's going on with the police officers. To me, when Showtime picked up this storyline, they're attempting to do exactly what his brother mentioned. They attempted to use the TV to change your mind, make you feel as though the police aren't the bad guys in this. He's like you said. I'm not trying to say it. I've always said I've been in a position. If you watch the first episode we had, I always said all police officers are bad. I sound ignorant when I say that. I'm saying when a man takes, I deal with the man without the uniform on. When he put the uniform on, he has a job to do. The job doesn't include anything. He doesn't have any leeway to do nothing but what that job allows him to do. I don't care how good he is, right? So if you're not trying to break down the problem, you're part of the problem, and I can't disseminate between those two. So when I saw that, it bothered me because with all the nonprofits, all the activists out there, they go pick these police officers, they go to the football field. Football in itself is modern day slavery. It's modern, all it is high flight slavery. That's all we had in the hood getting out. You're gonna play basketball or football. What you gonna do?
Or sell dope.
Or getting to get out the hood. And that's always been our way out. Why they utilizing the football field? I'm not trying to say anything bad about it. It is a positive influence, but it's all we ever had. It's just good times all over again.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with the football field being the only thing? Basketball?
No.
What was you giving when you was trying to get out the hood? I was given an education. I was given an opportunity.
What
school you go to, bro?
I went to John Marshall. See, the thing about it is we so quick to rely on all we've been told or all we've been seeing. That's bullshit. We got the same opportunity as the next person.
No, you don't.
Why come I don't?
You can't have the same opportunity based when you walk down the streets or when you go to school. The biggest thing that we had a problem with is when they desegregated schools. And we were being taught by people other than our people, and we were being educated by them. That was the issue that we always had. So when you say you have the same opportunities that other people have, it's great to have that perspective on life, but you really don't have those same opportunities. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not taking away from you.
That's for each his own. Like, you got a right to feel how you feel, but I don't feel like that.
And that's fine.
I'm
not going to take that away from you.
I don't, because it's so many blacks that have overcame. It's so many blacks that's doing good.
Based on
without basketball, without football. There's all type of black people doing all type of things.
So when you start talking about billionaires, let's talk about billionaires. What black you know who's a billionaire? Go say Oprah Winfrey. I'm gonna give you one. Oprah Winfrey. I'm gonna give you Jay-Z. But they don't own nothing. Not one thing do they own. They don't have a factory. They couldn't even print out a pair of underwears if they need them. So they really don't have any money. They're really not wealthy. Wealth is, I'm gonna tell you what wealth is. Wealth is having a mine of copper that you can go dig up. That's wealth. That's generational wealth. That's wealth forever. They took all that from us. So when you start telling me you have the same opportunities, historically, I can point out episodes within history that has removed us from those same opportunities.
And that's why we're going to forever stay in the run. That's why we're going to ever be fucked up, because all we think about is what they did.
No.
Fuck what they did.
No,
we got to figure out what we do.
In order for you to understand your future, you must understand your past. And you must be able to.
That's the past. That should have nothing to do with us.
It has a lot to do with
it. It ain't had nothing to do with me. I ain't never been no slave. I'm not going to lie to nobody.
It's not.
My ancestors were slaves.
But historically, we're talking about harm that you've experienced, so it makes you predisposed
what
to
harm have you experienced?
The harm with growing up in Harvey, Chicago Heights, dealing with that type of...
What harm have you experienced growing up in Harvey and Chicago Heights?
Drugs being placed in my neighborhood. Guns being placed in my neighborhood.
This shit everywhere.
Placed in my... No. When I came up here, I didn't see that. I didn't see it till they brought it up here. So the stuff that we find normal, gunshots, and for you to duck, that's historical harm being transferred into us for survival that you had to grow up with. You had to be smart about it, because if you wasn't smart about it, you might have got shot. That's what I'm talking about.
That's life, man. What about
that's not life,
man?
What
about the people walk out their door and get hit by a straight bullet?
That we not talking about. That's not the same thing.
It's all the same.
I mean, historically, it's not just the black race that has been abused and discriminated against and enslaved. There's been multiple occasions in human history where other races and other people have been discriminated and enslaved just because they were the Irish were for a while, the Russians, the Slavic people were enslaved for a while. We had the Holocaust.
Which brings me to my next video I'm gonna show y'all.
But the thing about it is I'm never going to dispute anybody's trauma. The fact of the matter is nothing on this scale has ever happened to any other race except in Africa. They took over 100 million people. 100 million people from that. They died in the Middle Passage, bro. That didn't happen to no other. The people that died in the Holocaust, the Middle Passage, more people died in the Middle Passage. So historically, harm that's generational or in your DNA comes from us dealing with certain things, and we have to identify that with that first before we move on. Go ahead.
Ron being in the middle says, are we going to still keep dwelling on that?
You have to.
Why?
Because it's never been dealt with. That's like me. Like me. I'm your father. I've been beating on your mama since you was a kid. Now you of age and you have problems with it. Hey, Dad, since I was a kid, you've been beating on my mom. I want to talk about it. Nah, son, that happened in the past. I beat up. No, hold on, wait a minute. You experienced that as a child. You're susceptible to taking that same behavior and utilizing it against your wife and your daughter. And no, it needs to be done.
I experienced that as a kid. I don't beat on women now. I don't beat on women now.
That now is a very telling now.
So let me ask you this. So what you're saying is, what we went through in the past that determines who you are now?
It doesn't. It's a predetermined. It's predetermined. Like they could easily say because you were locked up, your children has a higher percentage of being locked up. No, you don't know my children. You don't know my children. I'm just saying, in order for you to understand something, you must know what it is in order for you to defeat it, brother. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, you know what it is. You know what it is now. You know what it is now. So why you keep beating that dead horse?
What are you talking about? Y'all been in denial since we had the conversation. It don't exist. I don't worry about it. They're like, no, you have to.
How is that denial?
When you say that, I'm not worried about that. That happened in the past. It's like, no, we have to have a conversation about it.
At what point do you start moving on?
When everybody's on the same level and on the same playing field, and we can talk about it with everybody understanding and agreement of what actually happened.
Why do I need to talk about?
It doesn't have to be.
Hold on, Mo. SCF Mo. Why do I need to talk to you about why we fought for you to move on from it and get on with your life?
What are you talking
about? Let go of that crutch.
You understand what I'm saying? Like if me and you, if me and you had a fight about this girl that me and you both were seeing, why do me and you have to talk about it for you to move on and get on with the next woman and get married later on in life with somebody else?
Because the
why do we need to talk about it?
It's the denial of what actually happened, right? We're not talking about moving on. We're talking about people thinking that this didn't happen the way it needs to happen. It's like, why does the Holocaust, the people who suffered not the least, but the Holocaust, still have, say something about a Jew right now, and watch what happens to you. Mm-hmm. Say something about them. Mm-hmm. Say something about them, their culture, anything. You can talk about black people upside down, back and forth, and ain't nothing gonna happen to you. Mm-hmm. But say something that they feel as though it's anti-Semitic because something happened in the Holocaust, and they're gonna get rid of you. They're gonna wipe you off the face of the earth.
I mean, I get it. Period. I get it. I understand.
Say again, bro.
You're gonna lose your house and your job.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's what happened to Kanye.
History, period, man. You gotta learn your history because it's important. I think it's washed over. We get a bunch of stories through school and the system about what supposedly happened, and that's not what happened. And I can't even begin to tell you in my own studies. I can't even begin to tell you some of the things that have been covered up and lost to the normal person in the world because nobody's talking about it in school. And it's probably some stuff you should be knowing what I'm talking about because it's changed the course of human history. It's changed the way that we operate in the world. It's changed the way we allow the power structure to rule over us.
I like what you said because that's why I want to ask this brother. We're the only culture that don't even know our history. We think our history started when we came to this country and we was dropped off. We were basically stolen from another country. That's when our history begins. We don't understand that we're Africans, our African history, and where we exist in it. Why would it so much stripped from us and we don't understand who we are? That's the reason why we can say it doesn't matter because you don't know that you were a king, that you had a country, that you was a nation, you was your nation. You be standing on that. You wouldn't be talking about like, hold on, wait a minute, this don't matter. Like all that matters because it's your history.
Why does it matter that two black officer and a white officer is helping the youth in the community?
Because they
why does that matter?
They push.
How long have they been doing this job?
They've probably been doing it for forever.
So for you to be sitting here saying that like it's a problem, you should be glad that somebody's taking time and helping these youth.
I'm not.
Do you help them?
No, I don't.
So how could you point the finger?
I can point the finger real simple.
You can't.
I can point the real simple. I do. I'm not. It's like when I was in the joint, people would be like, bro, you're not gonna participate in X, Y, and Z. But I'm not gonna participate in that. It's foolishness. Why would I? If anything, I'm gonna bring those brothers education. I'm gonna teach them something. I'm not going to participate in athletics or anything like that because I don't believe. I think they should be educating themselves. If they decide they want to go into athletics, that's fantastic. But I'm not going to be that conduit into that because athleticism in itself is nothing but classism. It's modern day slavery.
You know what?
And it's all we've been given.
I remember growing up and I was in the jail. And come back home. You have a million dope fiends, drug crackheads, pipeheads, leafheads, whatever. And they go in them jails and they be fucked up.
Right.
Give or take 3 to 4 months.
Let's tone down the cussing, y'all.
They back on their dean and all they do is preach the gospel.
Yeah.
How can you preach the gospel when you live in the same life? Now you call yourself clean, now you just bigger than law. I don't rock with that shit. I don't rock with that because at the end of the day, everybody has their own path. at the end of the day, this is how I feel. As long as them people think that they in our mind, then we scar for life. And when you show me a person that look like this, then I have an issue. But no one's suffer more than blacks. But at the end of the day, who is the person who making us suffer? Us. Because we bound into this bull crap. And we let it live rent free in our mind. Nowhere on God's green earth can you say it's something wrong with 2 officers coaching these young kids. I wouldn't care if it was 20 officers. These young kids are off the streets. They're getting educated. Somehow, some way, we as a people, we gotta let that shit go.
Y'all both are right.
No,
Y'all both are right.
Because he said there's nothing wrong with these officers coaching these kids. Fair enough. Until it's something wrong with these officers coaching these kids. Because those same black officers they put in our communities are the same black officers they utilize when something happened in our community and they need to come up with suspects. Right? That's the same officer, right? He's gonna be the same guy. They say, hey, we know you over in that area, we know you know such and such happened over there, we need you to identify who has done it. So that's when he becomes a weapon in our community. He's not coaching kids anymore.
But we got a job to do. Yeah, we got a job.
He doesn't have an
We need police in our neighborhood.
No, we don't.
Why we don't?
We need to police ourselves, brother. We always done it. Only time we needed the police is when we came over here and accepted.
Now let me show you something. You from Harvey, wherever you say.
I'm from the Heights.
Think about all this policing ourselves where it started from. That's where it started from. Policing ourselves. Yeah. Now look what policing ourselves and walking out elder women and black women protecting our women. Look what that shit got us now. Look how many of us killing us.
Why is that? It's not because we was helping you. It's not because we was policing ourselves. It's because they went into those organizations.
Look where it got us.
And they locked into all the organizations.
Look where it got us.
We got to find somewhere to close that, y'all.
Let's close it. Let's close it.
Cause we gonna pick it back up next week, though.
I just don't agree with a lot of that.
You don't have to agree with me.
I'm not gonna agree. I'm not saying I'm not gonna agree with you. I'm just saying I don't agree with you.
I feel like we need police in our community.
We don't need police officers in our community. We never need them.
I don't want to live in a community where I can't pick up the phone and call the cops if I need.
What you need to call them for? What they gonna do? How can they help you?
We need them for protection. We need them.
No, they don't need to ever protect you.
You know what I'm saying?
They're after the fact. They're not proactive. They're reactive. If you get shot, we about to do an interview with this lady who said that her nephew, son, brother was shot.
Her nephew.
It took them 2 hours to come.
It took the ambulance 2 hours to come. It took the police 2 hours to come. And this guy was working security. He was working security at a bar in Minneapolis, South Minneapolis.
Police don't do nothing. They've never done anything for you.
I'm not speaking on the police. I'm speaking on how is it that we having a conversation, or how the society, Showtime or whatever just showed this documentary, that it's a problem for officers helping these kids.
It's a problem because there's so many other organizations out there that's doing things for the kids.
So what are they at?
For you, they're everywhere.
What are they at?
They're not giving from toy drives to marching,
computer programs.
So what's wrong with that?
Advocating. To advocate, I do my podcast. That's when I came out of the joint. That's what I wanted to bring back to the people. Too many people think that prison sweep. Too many people think that CEOs aren't doing anything but their jobs. No, I wanted to start. I got something to say to voice my opinion that they aren't doing that at all. The DOC is all that stuff.
I'm not saying all police are good.
I'm not saying that.
I'm not going to say all police are bad either.
I'm saying,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm not going to sit here and say that they're not needed, because they are. They are. They are needed.
I'm with you on that.
In order to police ourselves even in any community, because I believe
there's situations that be going down that they go into that we ain't going into. Hell, we running with everybody else, trying to get the hell on, that they be running back to it, trying to solve the situation. All these mass shootings, all this stuff that be going down, them people are the ones that's going in here trying to put this fire out. You know what I'm saying? We need those people. We need those people to be in our communities. We need them to be more interactive with our kids. We need them to be more personal with our communities. We need them to know the community more. I agree with that. They should know the community more. So it's a little bit less lawlessness on their behalf. So, you know what I'm saying?
So the reason I say we don't need the police is because what this brother brought up. He understands it. He's from the crib, right? You understand that prior to that, we were policing ourselves through organizations that we find our affiliation to. What happened then? They broke down the community. The community starts with the household. When you start removing males, black, white, whatever, from the household, then the household is a representation of the nation, representation of the city, representation of the county. When you start taking black males, Caucasian males, Mexican male, the male out of the household. What do you mean by taking them? Locking them up, putting them in prison. Locking them up for I don't know.
I mean, the issue is this society has failed for many generations now, I believe, to really initiate the human being into maturity and to discovering who they are as an individual. You know, you're not a body that you inhabit this body. This is the vessel that you are in. You're not your mind. Your mind is a tool you use to interact with this reality and other people here. What you are is an entity, an observer that lives in this place, experiencing this experience we call life. And if you don't initiate, and nowadays you're stuck, you have to initiate yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, then you'll be lost in the goddamn system.
This Rob be in the middle with another IGSTS production. As y'all can see, that this is a very intense conversation, and we will pick it back up. Maybe not next week, but you know, we're gonna give it a chance to get everybody to get their thoughts together and stuff like that. But I would like you, my audience, my viewing audience, to get in the comments box and talk to us. Give us some ideas. Talk to us. Tell us what your viewpoint is. What you thinking about? What's on your mind? I got something to say. Real quick.
I'll listen to what everybody's saying. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we have decisions. I mean, some people privilege and some people make choices. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a damn choice. You know what I'm saying?
You say you from Gary?
I'm from Gary, Indiana. You know what I'm saying?
Gary.
I grew up against the site.
Oh,
so you know what I'm saying? So we going junior high school, into with the vice lords. You know what I'm saying? Every day. Can you imagine? Walking to school and got to carry your guns with you every day, having shootouts every time you leave school. Yeah. Can't go to school some days because out of fear of that you're going to get killed. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all homeboys, some of our friends got killed going back and forth to school, back and forth to school. And it got to the point, by the time we hit our junior year, we couldn't even come no more because we was going to a school and all the big devices was coming, the groans was coming up there, you know what I'm saying, trying to get on our ass, you know what I'm saying? So we was forced out of that area because outnumbered, outmanned. You know what I'm saying? So every time you got to ride. So I like the police, you know what I'm saying? This is my point or something, you know what I'm saying? Police is a gang, a big ass gang. So like all the times I had to get in that motherfucking car and go ride. Now they want to ride because I knew some of the cats I went to school with them and had love for them, but I had to ride. If I don't ride, I'm viewed as a coward, a sellout, and I'll be exiled, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I gotta hop in that motherfucking car.
A lot of them was your friends.
I gotta follow that code. Even like with the police. Some of them don't condone a lot of shit that's going on in front of that motherfucker, that blue top roof. But they gotta follow the protocol and go with and ride with their motherfucking guys. Yeah. Because you know what I'm saying, if you don't, they gonna get exiled. The officer, you seen the movies how some officer when he turned in, what was that one movie? I forget the name of it. We turned in all that money. Huh? American Gun? Yeah, we turned in all that money. Training gas. You see how they did them? They exiled. You know what I'm saying? He ain't shit no more. Everybody. So it's the same shit, the same, you know what I'm saying?
And I said that would have happened to the officers in the George Floyd, those rookies. We're gonna watch movies on Friday and Saturday nights, and as a group, we're gonna process the movie through thinking errors and tactics, criminal thinking errors that people use and stuff like that, and try to help us all get our thinking back right, back into the good way of life.